As you're joining us this evening, we need to make sure that you are including your affirmations. We want to make sure our mind is mentally prepared. I am the signal. I am a BYOB master trader. All my trades in the profit. And we want to introduce another affirmation tonight as well. I am anointed for wealth. So you should be excited about the fact that you're present, but we want you to also be present in mind and in heart. So I am the signal. Drop your affirmations in the chat. I am a BYOB master trader. All my trades end in profit. I am anointed for wealth. So we want to have the vibration shaking the earth, shaking off anything that may be in your mind right now, because this is the year of transformation, the BYOB movement, the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. For those of you joining us tonight, we want to make sure that you are affirming your greatness. I am the signal. I am a BYOB master trader. All my trades end in profit. I am anointed for wealth. We're going to get started here in about a couple of minutes. So please make sure you are entering into this space with the right mindset, the right heartbeat, so that you can be a receptacle of this amazing information. BYOB Market Talks, back to the basics. So we're going to get started here. So please make sure you're dropping your affirmations tonight. Make sure you're dropping your affirmations tonight. I am the signal. I am a BYOB master trader. All my trades end in profit. I am anointed for wealth. Yes, we want to make sure that is your personal declaration tonight. So we're going to begin to start here in about another minute. So once again, for those of you who are just joining us, we want to make sure that you're affirming your thought process tonight. I am the signal. I am a BYOB master trader. All my trades end in profit. I am anointed for wealth. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9 p.m. Eastern, BYOB Market Talks, back to basics. And it is my treat and pleasure to host you this evening and introduce you to someone who I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And once again, we are in celebratory mode right now. This is the birthday of the BYOB Cash Out strategy. The strategy is now officially 2 years old, and we're absolutely excited about the mind that was used to bring this amazing strategy forward. And so many of us have been the benefactor of her expertise. So without any further ado, once again, I'm going to turn the call over to our coach and mentor for this evening, hailing all the way from the city of Jacksonville, Florida, retired major from the United States Army, MBA recipient, licensed financial advisor, the trade whisperer herself, none other than Miss Tasha M. Dyer. Miss Dyer, are you on the line?
Absolutely, absolutely, I am. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the visionary. Yes, the visionary of this movement. And I'm actually just really excited to be here with you all today. As you all guys already know, today is definitely a special day, as our visionary just stated. You know, I'm excited. I am excited. So as you log on, do not forget, I see you all still coming on. And as you log on, make sure you drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations. So let's set the stage right before I even walk in this excitement that I'm sitting in. Let's make sure we set the stage right. So and that means if you're streaming on YouTube, I want you all to drop it in the chat as well. Definitely want you guys, all of you all everywhere, to drop it in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from, as well as those affirmations. You see mindset, 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 mindset. And so ultimately, why I'm excited is, as he just stated, today is the day. Today is the day 2 years ago. Today is the day that I had that nudge. Today is that anniversary. Today is that, birthday. Today is however you want to coin it, phrase it, but it's 2 years that we have had a BYOB cash out strategy. So I am definitely excited. And I mean, just the testimonies that have come through. I mean, you think about it, right? I mentioned it to you guys the other day. I have many other testimonies, but what stuck with me is the reality of a bank anniversary. Okay, that's what stuck with me, is a bank anniversary. And so we're declaring and decreeing that, you know, it's the 15th of April, and you can use today as well. But a year from now, basically, you're going to walk in your wealth and your bank anniversary as well. You're going to walk in that same anointing. You are anointed for wealth. So add that to your affirmations as you log on. And as you drop it in the chat, I am anointed for wealth. We're going to, you know, we operate in big bank frequency, right? That's what we operate in. We operate in big bank frequency. And so that's it. That's all we know how to do. That's it. That's all we know how to operate in. That's it. That's all that we know how to allow to transpire in our lives. And so I just want to make sure that each and every last one of you all, as we are excited here this evening, you know, I just want to make sure that all of you all are operating in that frequency, in that mindset, and in that understanding. So now, as we dive in here today, you know, as we dive in, what I want to do is let's first see who is on the line. All right. So I see some of you all. So for those of you all still logging in, drop it. So I see Jacksonville, right? Good evening, Minnesota. Good evening. There we go. I am anointed for wealth. Claremont, good evening. You know, good evening. Oh, I like those affirmations. New York, good evening. Good evening, Columbus. I walk in abundance. All right. Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Cleveland. Good evening, Minnesota. Good evening, Columbia. Good evening. Yes, I am transforming my financial mindset and elevating my family financially. I love how you guys add to it. Illinois, good evening. North Carolina, Jacksonville. Good evening, Jacksonville, Claremont. Good evening, Milwaukee. Good evening, Miramar. Good evening, Cleveland. I just skipped somebody at Fort Washington, Maryland. Toledo, Lauderhill, Chattanooga, Fleming Island, Houston. We are BYOB Worldwide tonight. Orlando, Tampa. So keep dropping it in the chat, guys. I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades in profit, I am 777. And what we operate on, let me break it down for you, okay? An educated trader is a profitable trader. An educated trader is a profitable trader. I'm going to say it one more time. An educated trader is a profitable trader. I want you to grasp that. I want you to understand that. How do you have a bank anniversary if you're not educated? How do you have a bank anniversary if you're not operating? Let me tell you, I told you I always have time for a testimony. Hello, Toronto. Hello. So let me tell you, I always have time for a testimony. 300% account increase, right? 300%. So we've been focused on strictly education. We've been highly focused on education. And so anytime like we're talking about, so guys, keep sending them. I have a list of testimonies that I just want to go through, but keep sending them. Last month, I sent 2 people some t-shirts, you know. You sleep with me on your head. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. But you know, we sent 2 individuals some shirts, you know, just to kind of reward you for your dedication to yourself, right? Your dedication to yourself. And so we want to keep doing the same thing. So keep dropping it in the chat. Hello, Thailand. How are you doing? Good evening, Milwaukee. Good evening, Baltimore. So keep sending it. Keep dropping it. I see London on the line. Keep sending it. Keep dropping it. That's ultimately what you want to do. Now, if you're new to the call, right, I'm telling you, we're going to close this month out strong. So I might have to pick a few more than 2 this month. So, but we're definitely going to send you guys some BYOB cash out, BYOB movement t-shirts or something. We're definitely going to get that out to you. So, but in the meantime, in between time, if you're new to the call, it's your first time here with us this evening, let me get a 111 in the chat. Let me get a 111 in the chat. If this is your first time, good evening, California. And if you're still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. Tonight, we're going back to the basics. And depending on how the call goes, I want to kind of break down and understand our educational focus. But definitely want to make sure that you guys are walking in this understanding of the strategy, BYOB cash out, and so as we dive in, I'm going to let you know, drop your questions in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat if you have any questions, okay, as we go through this, because tonight is about your understanding. And so for my new individuals that are on the line, I see quite a few of you all, let me officially welcome you, right? Let me welcome you to our BYOB Market Talks. So how these calls go, what these calls are designed to do is, today is Tuesday. Today is a basics call, right? Today is basics. And then on Thursday is a skills training. So today is basics, Thursday is skills training. And then on the mornings, on Monday through Thursday, is our profit call, BYOB profit call. And so what we do is we take this information and we definitely show you how to utilize this information, right? We take this information, we show you how to take it and how to trade it, like how to take it and how to build your relationship with the market, because a relationship with the market is what you're looking for. A relationship with the market is what is going to ensure that you have the success that you're looking for. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I have this up because we're heavily focused on education right now, right? We're heavily focused on education and understanding education. What you're seeing right now is our vibrato. All right. Now, first thing first, there are two ways to get to the vibrato. And what you guys know is that this way to get to the vibrato is imlwebanalyzer.com, or you can actually go through im.center and access it. You're always seeing me on this website. Now we analyze here and we take our trades in our on our app, MetaTrader 4. So we analyze here and you take your trades there. All right. That's first things first. So there's no way to enter the trade from here, but then we don't want you analyzing it on the MetaTrader 4. All right. So this is where we do our analyzation. Now, why is this tool so important? This is literally a premier tool for our company, right? This is literally a premier tool for our company. And understanding that this is a premier tool for the company, what it is that you're looking at is our visionary on here, all right? Now, his background is in investment banking. He has 25 years experience, professional of professionals, successful business owner, published author. I mean, you name it, he's had impact, commercial real estate, mortgage lending, but investment banking, 25 years, and I promise you, he's already helped over 30,000 people obtain their financial freedom. So with that, this is why he's the spokesperson of this tool. Background in investment banking and his experience in that field. And so what happened is this tool was vetted and is comparable to what the big banks of the world utilize. So what we're doing is we're putting you in a position to operate like banks do. And so I'm gonna play this clip and then we're gonna dive in. I want you to hear this.
Wow, folks, I'm just absolutely amazed to know that I'm a part of an organization looking to empower and impact lives across the globe. I've been in this space for over 20 years, commercial banking, lending, and when I look at the web analyzer in comparison to what the big banks of the world utilize, that web analyzer is equivalent, far exceeds the expectation that I was anticipating after having that experience on the investment market. So folks, for those of you who don't understand the magnitude of what you have your hands on, I encourage you, I challenge you to take a deeper dive and realize that really you have in your own hands the power to become your own bank and allow us to be your partner to empower you economically, financially, and leave a true legacy.
All right, awesome. All right, I see you guys logging in. I see Alaska, Cali. It's just so many of you all. So BYOB Worldwide, I'm gonna recognize you like that. BYOB Worldwide. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and dive in, all right? Now, why is the education important? When you open a chart, this is what you see. And we talked about this last week where the market does four things. Technically 3, but it's 4 based on the size. So it goes up, It goes sideways, right? It goes up, it goes sideways, it goes down, and it goes sideways. And what we're here to do is to grasp an understanding of what it's doing. You take your trades based on what the market's doing. And so when you first look at the chart and this is what you see, well, you have to know how to enter the trade, right? It's real easy. I mean, I just literally did a video with my daughter. I recorded her because she asked the question. She said, Mommy, can I do your call? And then she's sitting there. She's like, okay, red candle means sell, green candle means buy. And she starts marking up the charts. But in understanding that, right? And I'm talking about the 6-year-old. But in understanding that, it's still, how do I get into the trade? How do I understand this? What am I looking at? Because just looking at this, I need to be able to dive in. I need to be able to really analyze this. I need to be able to do that in order for me to effectively take a trade. So yes, it's really simple. Red candle means sell, green candles mean buy. But we want to make sure that you know how to get into the trade, okay? You want to be able to look at the market, because even over here, it's nothing but space and opportunity. You want to be able to look at the market and understand, how do I effectively take this trade? So let's talk about that. So we're going to start, and where everybody starts is understanding this first. The higher time frame moves the market. My higher time frame. So across the top, right, you understand that I have my time frames. And so by hour, 4 hour, right, we all know that that really means how long you're in a trade, like how long that candle is, how long, not how long you're in a trade. Let me back up, because I want to make sure I say it right. It really means how long that candle is before we get a new candle. And so the higher time frames is what gives the market its direction, where it's going, you know, what's transpiring. My lower time frames is my movement, activity, and just everything that's going on. So that's what we must understand first and foremost. There's absolutely no way you should be analyzing a trade or trying to take a trade on like the 1 minute and the 3, unless you're doing HFX, okay? Unless that's what we're doing. So, but even still with HFX, you need to understand what the market is doing. All right. For those of you all who are new on this call, because I saw quite a few of you all, that's simply, we're talking about options trading. So now, so there's a foundation that we must have. Now, this foundation is here on the 15-minute chart. And this is, you know, once again, I'm excited. 2 years and counting, global impact. You know, never ever would have imagined that this is what would have transpired. But, you know, when God does a thing, that's what happens, right? So when you really look at this and you see, right, what I'm looking at is I have these 3 indicators, right? These 3 indicators. And so, you know, I'm looking at this. And so you see I'm on my 15-minute chart. So as I sit here on my 15-minute chart, okay, as I'm looking at this and I'm on my 15-minute chart, this is that foundation. This foundation is where we start our 10 pips and cash out, where we begin trading to the support and resistance lines, and where we understand, you know, like a tighter entry, right? So what have you. Now, here, what am I looking for? So I'm going to look at both of these buys, and we can actually look at this sell, because this is a nice little zone that's right up in here where the market went up, the market came down, and the market went back up. All right. So first thing first is my stochastic. All right. This is my stochastic. Now my stochastic, okay, blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum, or the blue line is going to cross over the red right here in a downward momentum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to circle it so you understand exactly what I'm looking at. All right. I like for you guys to see what I see and understanding what we're looking at. Okay. So these crossovers and cross ups, right? Now my stochastic is a momentum indicator. Okay. It helps me measure what's happening in the market. Like, where's the momentum? What's happening? Now, you notice that there's a shaded area, and it goes from 20 and it goes to 80. It goes from 80 and it goes to 20. All right. Now, here, I'm looking for that crossover and cross up. I'm looking for that crossover and cross down. All right. That crossover and cross up. That's what I'm looking for. And so now, all right. So now, As I know that, and that's what I'm looking for. So if it's crossing over and crossing up around the 20, I'm looking for a buy. If it's crossing over and crossing down around the 80, keyword is around, okay? Keyword is around. Around the 80, I'm looking for a sell, all right? That's ultimately what I'm looking for. Now, right here, as we go just a little bit deeper, right? We go a little bit further. Now I'm looking at my candles, okay? So we have our green candle. So if I'm looking for a buy, I have a blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum. Then I have my green candle with a flat bottom and my PSAR. Now my PSAR are the dots, okay? The PSAR is the dots. And as I look at this right here, the PSAR being the dots, this is where that upward momentum is, right? Now here, that crossover and cross down, this is where that downward momentum is. So that red candle with a flat top, PSAR flip to the top. You see the simplicity in this, right? The simplicity in this. And so it's the same thing that turns around and it happens over here. Blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum. I have that green candle with a flat bottom, and I have that PSAR flip to the bottom. So right here in itself, those are those three things. But remember, that's the simplicity. However, the lower time frames, 15-minute, does not tell me what the market is doing, right? It does not tell me what the market is doing. So what I need to do is I need to make sure, I need to go to my higher time frame. And so if I'm on a 15-minute, I'm gonna go to my hour. So when I come here and I go to my hour, okay, when I go to my hour, now remember, I'm not trading on this time frame, all right? I'm not trading on this time frame. And so there are going to be some things that we discussed that is you're going to take advantage of it based on your skill set level. And I see one of them right now, that's why I mentioned that. So I'm not trading on this time frame. What I'm doing is I'm looking for, remember the higher, so, okay, let me really just break this down a little bit and help you guys understand it. So my lower time frame is activity entry points. My higher time frame is my direction. So this is obviously, when I look at this, my momentum is moving upwards and I have a green candle. Now I'm not looking for a set up. I even have a PSAR at the bottom over here. Now I'm not looking for a set up because that means that I will have to wait for a new hour candle, a new hour candle, a new hour candle until I get that flat bottom candle. I'm not. It needs to look like something you'll wait on. Now, what does that mean? Because I get that question because we overthink it. So let's think about this. Blue line cross over the red in an upward momentum. Here, you know that you're waiting on a flat bottom candle, right? And we're waiting, and this might have actually been a flat bottom candle. We've talked about that before. This one might have actually been a flat bottom candle. However, it's not right now because of the pullback. So let's just pretend this was a flat bottom candle, but do I have a PSAR? No. So that's what weights, it looks like it's setting up. So if I see my blue line cross over the red and upward momentum, a green candle with a flat bottom, but no PSAR, I'm waiting, right? I'm waiting on a setup. It looks like I'm about to be able to take a buy. So when I come here and I say it needs to look like, it looks like I'm about to be able to take a buy. That's what that means, okay? That's what that means. Now, this is for my one-on-ones, my individuals that are new to BYOB cash out, individuals that are new to trading, okay? You're going to do your 10 pips in cash out, right? You're going to do your 10 pips in cash out, or you're going to trade to that first support and resistance line. Your stop loss goes below the PSAR. You see how the market's telling us everything? The market's giving us all the information. The market's giving us all the direction. That's ultimately what's happening right there. Now, here, all right, blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum. We've already analyzed that. Same thing here. Now, when I come here, though, now this is as your skill set advances a little bit. One thing I want you to know is that GBP has a lot of liquidity. GBP has a lot of liquidity. So what that means is when I use time frame confluence, we use something called the factor of 4, 5, or 6. you know, so that means that you're going to do that multiplication. So that's why, or you can just remember 15 minute, my confluence is the hour. You know, if I'm on an hour, my confluence is a 4 hour. If I'm on a 4 hour, my confluence is a daily. If I'm on a 5 minute, my confluence is on the 30. Okay. So, and you always still drop down. So don't negate the drop down, but that's going to help you with that understanding. So now when I look here, so on this one and this one, they're giving me two different things. And that's why I wanted to break it down to where you are as far as your skill set level. Okay. That's why I wanted to break it down as far as where you are, you know, just kind of understanding where that skill set is and what it is that you're looking for. So right here, all right, let's see, right here, you have, let's put this line here because I want you to see it. Now, look at this. What we're analyzing right now is confluence, okay? We're analyzing confluence. So if I'm looking for a sell right here, and my stochastic is in a buy and my candle is still in a buy, even though it's really obvious that we have pullback in this candle, I'm not taking that trade. The key is discipline, all right? Because I already know some of you guys are like, well, GBP has a lot of liquidity. GBP moves. GBP, especially GBP AUD, and look, that's 55 pips. Fantastic, okay? Fantastic. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? You want to operate in discipline. You want to perfect practice makes perfect, okay? We have a completely different PPP than what's strolling the internet right now. Perfect practice makes perfect, okay? So we're gonna put our M up in there. So perfect practice makes perfect, okay? So we don't wanna take that trade because right now it might've played out, but it's not always going to do so, all right? So don't ever feel like you missed a trade. You have to get okay with taking a trade, not taking a trade, or what have you. You have to be okay with that. So now when I look at this one, now I see my stochastic is actually in that upward momentum, right? I'm in a buy momentum. Now on this one, I'm very comfortable dropping down to my 30. Look at the pullback in this candle. You notice that when the candles are rising and we have good upward momentum, you notice how they look like you're walking up some stairs, right? And over here, they look inverted. So it look like I'm walking down, you know, well, not down, but like upside down stairs. So now this one obviously has some pullback. So I'm very comfortable, okay? Very, very comfortable dropping down to my 30 minute to see if I have time frame confluence. And I actually do. I actually have time frame confluence right there, okay? I actually do. And so I would definitely take that trade. And even if, worst case scenario, worst case scenario, see it went up 54, 55. Even if, worst case scenario, you got caught in this pullback, but we're disciplined. We put in take profits and stop losses and everything. That's what we do because we're educated traders, right? So even if that happened, you didn't hit your stop loss because overall on this higher time frame, we were still in that upward momentum. You see that? That makes sense. Look at the upward momentum we were in. So understanding that, do I have any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any questions, any comments, any testimonies? Any questions, any comments, any testimonies? I want to make sure you guys understand this, right? So no questions, comments, testimonies. I noticed like sometimes it's a little delay. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys the opportunity to make sure that you ask them because I'm going to go a little bit deeper, right? I'm definitely going to dive a little bit deeper. All right. But I want to make sure light sun. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Because I want to bring some clarity to this, okay? So two things, right? I can use my 5 minute for an entry point, or you can just do your market execution here from the 15. Do not forget with my time frame confluence that I need to always drop down and check my lower time frame. So notice that we really only took the buys. And remember, I started to only take those buys, but I wanted to take that sell and I moved that. I wanted to take the sell because I wanted you all to see, even though it paid out, we don't always take every trade. All right. So now as I'm looking at this, okay, when I drop down, I already know what the higher time frame is doing, okay? I already know what it's doing. Okay, I already know what it's doing. We know that from here, let me move this over because I want to kind of focus right here. I'm on my higher time frame. My momentum is moving up. So my momentum is moving up. So right here. This is my momentum. Do you see that upward momentum? Even though we had this correction, this pullback right here, my momentum is in a buy. My momentum is overall in a buy. So when I come down here to my hour and my 5 minute, okay, you see that overall, I definitely would have been looking to take a buy. So each one of these, you could drop down and use this as your entry point. And so this is why I need you guys to understand this, because on our profit calls, you're not going to see me say, you know, this is what's not going to happen, okay? And I need you guys to understand this because you have to be able to take the trades. Like sometimes things happen. We're only on the call for 2 hours a day. That's it, 2 hours a day. And this morning, it was only one, right? Technology happened to me. And so when you're looking at it, I can look at this and know that I have a tighter entry right here because my momentum is already up. So if I analyze it and I see it, I know that my 5 minute can give me that tighter entry. And this is also where you set those buy stops at. So, but in order to be able to do those things, I need you guys to know that we need to know our support and resistance lines. We need to understand our support and resistance lines. So we've gone over to BYOB cash out, simplicity of the strategy, but there's always an elevation, there's always involvement, there's always elevation, there's always you mastering a skill set and increasing your knowledge base. So do we have individuals, you know, within their first month that because they can do that, because of the simplicity, can dive in and do their 10 pips and cash out? Absolutely, we do. We have that consistently all the time. But what I also want you guys to understand is that while we have that and we have that simplicity and we have that understanding, that there's so much more money out there when you begin to understand this movement, when you begin to understand what the market's doing. And so I can drop down to my 5 minute and I can tighten my entry. I can hit my market execution right from here. And so when you get started, everything is here on this 15-minute chart. Understanding what the market's doing, how it's doing it, how it's moving, how it's flowing, okay? Now, I do want to come over here, all right? Because I want to make it really clear for you all. So this was a scanner trade from this morning. Please tell me, let me see it. Just make me feel good. Is there some 777s? You guys know we get excited when you make money. You know that we really get excited when you make money. We are ecstatic when you make money. All right. So let me see some 777s. That's good. I don't care if it was demo. I do not care. I do not care. And let me tell you why. All right. Let me tell you how important your demo account is. This is a basics call. Let me tell you just how important your demo account is. So I'm a football fanatic. And so what that means is I know that they have a preseason. All right. They have a preseason. And so that's what we're training, right? That demo account is that preseason. We're all BYOB master traders, but that demo account is where we refine our skills, where we understand how, you know, our broker plays, how, you know, what their rules are, what their playbook looks like. That's what we do with our demo account is that playbook. And then the real season happens, which is when we actually get into the market, the live market. And now we're making our own money because at first you're playing with the broker's money, right? You're on the practice field. And so now we're playing every Sunday, you know. Well, now it's more than Sunday, right? Because you have Monday Night Football, so now we're taking trades, right? We're in the market 24 hours, 5 days a week. We're in the market. However, sometimes we're going to need to refine those skills. Sometimes we're going to need to, I'm going to go from scalping 10 pips and cash out to where I start taking these trades. And so don't you play on Sunday, but then come back and practice during the week? That's you going back to your demo account. So demo is important. Demo is important. So, you know, I know you guys like to annotate the difference, but it's the same market. But the demo account is very important. So always take pride. And not saying that you didn't, but I want everybody to always take pride in your trades, whether it's in a demo account or the live account, because it's the same market as long as you're demoing with the broker, right, that you're going to play with. I know MetaTrader 4 gives you a broker. We're not using that broker. You're not going to play with them. You're not playing with MetaTrader 4, so why practice with their playbook, right? Why practice their plays? So whatever broker you're going to utilize, that's the broker you want to practice with, okay? So now, when we look at this, okay, this is one from the Harmonic Scanner. So first thing first is we're going to go to the Harmonic Scanner and you're going to look at some trades, okay? So I do have this. Let me log in here to IM.Center. All right, so I'm gonna go to my strategies. Now, when I come down to your history of MetaTrader 4 erased, but somehow, now remember it's a demo account, so that doesn't matter. You know, it's the broker money. So a lot of people get caught up in that. Guess what? Open a new one. You know, open a new one. It's all about your practice. So just open a new one, and it's okay. So, and because even when I'm walking somebody through it, you can write down that email and account login and password and all of that. If you're going to attach it to, you know, your online trade journal, then that's important. But if I'm not going to attach it to my online trade journal, then it doesn't matter, right? So you just open a new one. You can have as many as you want. Just make sure it's with the broker that you're going to trade with. So now here are my harmonics. See, I told you there's another vibrato right here. But here are my harmonics. So I'm gonna click my harmonics. So when I come in here, remember we talked about this. If you missed last week, so I want you to go back and watch it. But you come in here and you pick the hour. Now you have all these different brokers that feed into this, all right? And so this is how you're going to practice. Your support and resistance lines are your lifeline. I don't care if it says stop, entry, take profit. I don't care what it is. The reality is their support and resistance lines. And so I want you to treat this like the answers in the back of the book. I want you to come back over here. I want you to mark up your charts, right? I want you to do this. I want you to turn this to a line chart. When I turn it to a line chart, I can see those points. This is how you practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. So this is how you start seeing where those touches are. This is how you start knowing how to line it up. And then because you want accountability and you want to be able to kind of see what's happening, you can come back over here and you check those answers. So it does not matter. This is what you guys should be doing over the weekend and kind of before Thursday. So this is this is that first stage of your homework, okay? This is that first stage of your homework. So understanding that this is my first stage of my homework, I know I'm not even looking at the same, oh, actually I am. So even understanding that this is that first stage of the homework, you see, I know initially when I looked at it, this just popped on here. So this is actually, look, we took the sell, now we're going to take the buy. So obviously it's still, you know, you mark it up. So just for the sake of time, I'm not going to remark it up because I'm quite sure it's going to fall somewhere in here, all right? Somewhere in here. And so I'm gonna switch this back over to my Hikanashi candles, okay? I'm gonna switch this back over to my Hikanashi candles. And when you do so, right, you can see how it's lined up. And now we're geared for that buy. So we just analyzed this sell and now it just triggered for a buy. So do we use crypto pairs? And so two questions. Do we use the crypto pairs on the DCX? So they have that, right? So they do have that. Now, when you look at my harmonics here, all right, when I look at my harmonics over here, the one thing is it's going to, I mean, it's fine, but let me get it. So you can definitely pull this one. So you have the cryptocurrency, right? And so there's more, you know, so look at it. So let me see. So it's just all coming with one. So these are the different, you know what? We'll actually dive into this one a little bit because I know it's just going to depend on what you like to trade, right? What is it that you like to trade? But absolutely. So can you use this? Absolutely. Have we trained on it yet? No, not yet, but it's definitely valid. I mean, I've used it. I've looked at it, but I mean, it still can help you because remember, cryptocurrency uses, it works the same way. You guys should be looking in here, right? You should be. I told you it's a lot of valuable tools. So it's a lot of valuable tools in here. So your HFX, your FRX, your DCX, if you're enrolled, you should be enrolled with the elite package. That, you know, we do everything with excellence. You should be enrolled with the elite package, right? That's what you guys should be enrolled with. So you have access to every single thing. And last week we pulled up all these different tools. We pulled them up from FRX, but we pulled all of these up. And so, just to kind of help you guys understand that. So, and you say you never looked at it. It's right there. It's right there. So is it better to look at different brokers? It gives like a confirmation. So it'll give you like a confirmation. So like if AUDJPY trigger right here and you come here. So let's see. Now it's here, obviously, now look, I don't have that new one on here just yet. Remember how I said this was a sell and we took profit from this morning? This one has not turned around and triggered. So we took this sell. We made money on this one. And the money we made on this one, if you took it only to here was about almost 80 pips. So let's just say 70 because you guys have pip reaction time. And if you actually stayed in a trade, if you understand the market structure, you got about 100 pips. So, right, you got about 100 pips. So that's that, right? That's that move right there. And so now what you can see is the first broker triggered it back for that buy, right? It's already identified the harmonic pattern back for the buy. My next broker has not, okay? The next broker, let's see. So they've triggered for that buy as well. So it should give you comfort because these are actually different brokers that are feeding this. So it should give you comfort when you see it on more than one broker. So 3 brokers that out of 4 brokers so far that we've checked have actually triggered it and analyzed it for a buy, right? And then this one is still, and this should also give you comfort, right? And I'm telling you this from an educational standpoint, because some of you all remember we looked at that GBP NZD, and I'll pull that one up too, but yet it's still here. Remember they fall off. Notice how many fell off from this morning if you actually pulled it up, because I didn't pull it up this morning. I had the numbers, but there was quite a bit more down here. So they fall off of here after they play out, or, we get new triggers. And so when you're looking at like the GBP, AUD, and your GBP NZD, for those of you all in these trades or riding them out or you're waiting on a tighter entry, a better entry, then, because some of you will actually take profit. For those of you all are doing that, this should help you with that comfort. So what we're trying to do is help you understand these tools, help you understand how, to utilize the tools to where the tools are giving you that comfort zone that you're looking for to confirm your analyzation, not replace your analyzation, confirm your analyzation, okay? It should confirm your analyzation. So now, right here, so obviously I pull from the hour, right? I pull from the hour. You say this helps a lot. I'm so glad it does. I am so glad it does. So here, okay, so here we are, right? So we pull from the hour, and obviously it turned around and it's analyzing. So I know I'll see some 777s on this later. So now my confluence, so let's come up here. Let's talk about our confluence real quick. Here, my hour. My confluence is the 4 hour, and that's gonna make everything that I just talked about a minute ago make sense. Do I have confluence right here? Anybody, this is where I want your interaction. Drop it in the chat. Do I have confluence right there? No, I do not. So you're absolutely correct. So now I have to wait. And the beauty of this being a 4 hour candle, right? What happened to my countdown? Let's put it back on here. So now, knowing that I just had a new 4 hour candle, but guess what? It's going to be another 4 hours, or you can take it on a lower time frame, right? You can do 10 pips here and there. So here, I just got my confluence right there. So this is where you ultimately, now let me show you something. This should help you start seeing it. Right here, you notice how this did not press through? This didn't go? Well, that's very typical, right? That's very typical. Now, let's drop down to my 15. Now, on the 15-minute, right, this is around the area where I asked you that I have confluence. However, if I'm trading on the 15-minute, you notice how sometimes these markups will give you guidance and say, you know what, I can actually take a trade on my lower time frame to my first support and resistance. Please don't go any further than that till you start having confluence, right? but to my first support and resistance. So now right here, obviously there's some strength on the JPY because AUD JPY, base currency, counter currency. Remember, this is real money we're looking at. This is real transactions, okay? And I want you to understand the magnitude of this. So in the military, right? In the military, you know, initially my first assignment was finance. And so we had exchange, we exchanged currencies. That's what we did. It was part of our thing that we did in our office. We exchanged currency. So this is actually currency exchange, okay? I say, well, I see you. And look, I love it because that was my first supervisor in the military. So I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. So, but you know, this is actually that exchange. And so we're looking at real money move. And so what you're looking at is, so you really grasp it and understand it, this is the British pound and Australian dollar. That's what this is. This is Australian dollar paired with the Japanese yen. So if I go to, just to kind of, because we speak in dollars, you know, do I have one that's up? We speak in dollars, I know. Let me pull up some dollars. So hello, BYOB family. Hello to you too. So let me see, we speak in dollars. So let me make this make sense to you. All right, so now GBP USD, right? This is British pound, US dollar. What this means, this is a real price. That means it's gonna take $1.39 in order for me to buy $1.39 in order for me to buy a British pound. That's the exchange rate. This is real money. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at real transactions. So I want you to understand that this is real life, okay? This is real life. So this is how many yens it's gonna take for me to buy Australian dollar. This is a real price. So when we say this is the price, this is the price. So now what this means, if I'm selling, that means that JPY is stronger than the Australian dollar. That's what that means. I don't have to go buy Australian dollar. I don't have to go buy Japanese yen. We just need to know which direction it's going so we can make some money, right? That's what we do. So we profit on the buy to sell, right? We profit on movement. And so I don't have to buy the currency and hold it. We profit on movement. And that's what we do. And so as I'm understanding that, and as we're seeing that, you know, this is why I can, once I understand where this is going, you know, once I understand what this is doing, you know, and I grasp that, so I know that my momentum here is in the sell, right? Then when I come down here and I look at this, then I can come down here to even lower time frame and get me a tighter entry point. So I didn't have confluence until back here. So now that I know that I have my confluence, I can come down to my 5 minute and I can use this as that tighter entry and take that trade. So hopefully that brings a little bit more clarity, or you can just come down here and trade to that first support and resistance line like we discussed. And you would have ended up stopping around up in this area right up in here. And so once we got confluence, you see we weren't going any further. Then when we got confluence, this is what happened. So let me give you 2 examples of why not going any further and why understanding the market is important. Look at you guys cashing out while we training. I keep seeing those 777s come through there. So let's look at this one. So I just told you, this is GBP NZD. I just told you that some of them fall off, right? They fall off. Let me stay on a higher time frame so you can see this, that they fall off. Well, looking at this market, looking at this right here, look at how the market was moving. But remember, what did we talk about last week? I need 2 touches. I need 2 touches. I need 2 touches. And once I have that, now look at how the market respects it. Look at how the market respects it. Look at how the market respects that trend line. And so this one fell off. Now let's talk about this, okay? I know I'm giving you guys, I'm just trying to bring some clarity. I know we start with the strategy because it's a basics night. We want to make sure you understand it. Nobody had questions. So because you didn't have questions, I said I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper. So it's all about you. So if you have questions, then we'll go back and I'll come back to that confluence question in just a moment. I see it. So here, it's respecting the trend line. So you understand why it's important for us, right? Why is it important for us to make sure that we evolve our skill set, that we're always growing our skill set, that we're always making sure that we're increasing our skill set and we don't leave it at that basics. Because remember, right, guys, it actually shifted, right? It actually shifted. It transitioned. This was geared up for a buy, but look at how it's respecting it. Also, that last significant level was right here. So somebody tell me what we're technically in right now. I don't care that it went up 200 pips right there. This is GBP NZD. It's a lot of money in there. What type of trade are we in? Exactly, we're in a sell. We're in a bearish market. It is still bearish until it passes this level right here, right? It breaks that last significant level. So you notice that last, so look, impulse, correction, continuation, a little correction, continuation, correction. Look at that last push. It was a nice push, right? So now it's pulling back up, but has it broken that zone? Has it broken that last push? Until it breaks that push, we are technically still in a bearish market. So now I need clarity. Didn't it break? What do you mean? I'm telling you it didn't break it. Well, what do you mean? So I need clarity on the question because I'm explaining to you right now that it didn't break it. So yes, that's what a bearish market is. A bearish market is a sell. So we're still in a sell. We're still in a bearish market, all right? So we do not have a bullish market. So remember, the harmonic scanner had identified this, but this is why we do that first support and resistance line. This is why, you know, we have to respect these areas. And this is why we continue to evolve and advance our skill set, right? That's why we continue to do that. And then this is applicable to everything. All right, let's use these tools. What is this? Who is your financial advisor right now? What is this? What did I tell you guys? You guys should have seen my video the other day. What did I tell you guys? Okay, we can analyze everything. So looking at this one might not be on your broker. I see you guys keep dropping Bitcoin, so I'm gonna pull it up too. I told you we trade everything. All right, so I see you guys with my 777s on Bitcoin. But you see, let's look at this, okay? So the other day while everybody was rallying and oh, get in, I tried, look, don't touch it. Don't touch it. It was at that point where we're significantly, do we go past our R5, right? Do we go past our R5 on our pivots? We were significantly overbought, significantly, right? And what happened? Bam, it pulled back. BYOB cash out strategy is going to help you in every aspect, in every analysis, and every understanding. And so now on my higher time frames, what do? We go to that R1, right? And now look at where it's hanging out between that pivot and that R1. The same thing. Let's put our pivots on Bitcoin, okay? Let's put our pivots on here. All right, so now Bitcoin pivots have widened up a little bit. Yeah, you said throw on the pivots. You guys love the pivots. I see that. I know. We'll go put the pivots back on the other one as well, because I want you to see the trade that you're possibly the one that we have a setup for. So now if I'm looking at Bitcoin, remember Bitcoin hit that high point, it hit that high level, right? This is very typical of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing what it does. There's so much positive information on Bitcoin. I know you guys are thinking, well, why in the world is Bitcoin down there? Why in the world is Bitcoin where it's at? Why in the world, you know, well, guess what? That's what it does. You know, there's no explanation. We've talked about it. This is just what it does. And so when you don't try to, you know, right, exactly. That's what BTC does. And so when you understand that, you know how to trade it. And so you can see where we are, right, in the market. We always pay attention to those pivot points because it will surge back down. And that's how you guys stay so profitable on here. Anytime you're trading something at that extreme high, now you want to add the pivots. So just to really kind of capitalize on what we talked about tonight, just to kind of really back up and explain what we talked about tonight, okay? Just to really do that. And because I want you guys to get the big picture, all right? Let me drop your, I want you guys to see your pivots. I want you to know where you are. So my R1 is still up here. So we're sitting on a pivot point. So we just have to see and wait and let that one play out. Now the one that triggered, let's put the pivots on this one. And I'm gonna show you, because we basics, but we got a little bit advanced on here tonight. But I do want to kind of take you back so you can see. So let's talk about it. So first thing first, the BYOB cash out strategy, foundation, right? BYOB cash out strategy is our foundation. BYOB cash out strategy is our foundation, right? It's our foundation. That's our foundation. Second, right? Second, all right. Then you start advancing your skill set. And advancing your skill set, that's support and resistance lines, all right? That's understanding, right? Because we're doing homework. So we have support and resistance lines, and we also have homework, right? We have that homework where we drop our support and resistance, and then we also are able to come back and actually look at where the market and what the chart's doing. So obviously, are we gonna take a buy right now, even though the scanner said we should be looking for a buy? Am I gonna take a buy right now? Anybody, just anybody answer. Exactly. So we're gonna wait till we have our setup. So we do our 10 pips and cash out, then we begin evolving, which means that you begin learning support and resistance lines. You begin learning your trend lines. We throw some pivots on here, right? And so we start out with those charts that look like a color, that are nice and clean. Then you continue to advance. So if I started out with a chart with all of this on there, you're gonna be like, what is she doing? So you start out with that clean chart, and then you add to it in layers, but you don't wanna overanalyze. But at the same time, this has increased your accuracy, right? This has really increased and assisted you through this process, all right? So those are the things that, those are the things that we talked about tonight. And this is, where we want to keep evolving to. So this month, and I'm gonna probably stay here for a while, but we're definitely talking about your accountability, right? I mean, next month, I said, we're gonna talk about accountability. We're talking about your educational focus. And we're gonna keep this focus because you guys have, I've seen people walk off their jobs, okay? I've seen people, just completely transition and, bills, trips, like just all sorts of lifestyle changes. But just since we have dove in, just since we really just like forget all the fluff, we're gonna focus strictly on this education, you guys' trade accounts have grown. And so there's been so much clarity. There's been so much more, profit. There's been so much more 777s to where it's so exciting to know that, it's just so much, it's so exciting to know what's happening. And let me answer this question real quick before I transition this call. So the question was about the stochastic. Now, the very beginning of the call, we talked about that. You have to take into consideration the confluence as well as the stochastic when you do your time frame confluence. You have to take into consideration the candle and the confluence. So this recording, because I went in detail on that in the beginning of this call, this recording is going to be available, but it's streaming right now on YouTube. So you can actually go to the YouTube channel and rewatch it as soon as this call is over, or after a talk with a finance doctor, to get a little bit more clarity, because we definitely spent quite a bit of time walking through our time frame confluence. And I want to make sure you grasp that. All right. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is, I don't care what you're trading, your education, here we are sitting on the brink of 2 years and counting. We're literally on our way to the next dimension, right? We're literally on our way. And so you want to make sure that you understand that this works on everything, no matter what your trading style is, no matter what you like to do, no matter what you want to trade, it works on everything. It works on everything, ladies and gentlemen. It works on everything. So with that being said, I'm just looking for you all to walk in profit. I'm looking for you all to excel and exceed. And do not forget, you know, keep account. Make sure you have that online trade journal for your accountability. And I promise you, you're going to be diligently rewarded, one, by your trade account. I'm telling you guys now. All right. And keep your discipline. All right. We're sitting here at the basics. I want you to make sure you walk in and you keep that discipline. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to transition this call. So you definitely don't want to go anywhere, but really quickly, and then like we have about 1 to 2 minutes left. Question, I see the 777. Any questions, comments, testimonies? Questions, comments, testimonies, drop it in the chat. Questions, comments, testimonies. You are so very welcome. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna transition this call. And I highly suggest you don't go anywhere because it is time for a mindset shift. We're talking about a talk with the finance doctor. The gentleman I'm turning this call over to, he has his PhD in finance and economics. And we're talking about your RX, your finance doctor, the one and only. So it brings me great pleasure to turn this call over to none other than Dr. Craig Bythewood. Dr. Bythewood, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Miss Tasha M. Dyer.